Good morning, everyone. So, in today's class, we are going to start new topic. As all of you know, in last class, we completed our first lesson or story, that is nothing but The Gentleman of the Jungle. So, in this class, we are going to begin with a poem, and this is going to be our first poem of the syllabus. So, as you see on the screen, this is the title, The Schoolboy, written by whom? William Blake. So, he is the poet or the author of this poem. Now, first of all, I'll go for the author or the poet details. See, again, there will be no questions on poet. So, just I'm going for the basic introduction of the poet. So, here is the slide for that. So, who was William Blake? William Blake was the son of London hosier. Maybe he is a tradesman. The son of tradesman. The boy never went to school. Means the William Blake, he never went to school. He picked up his education as he could. His favorite studies in early days were Shakespeare or William Shakespeare, you can call, John Milton and Chatterton. And at the age of 14, he was apprenticed to James Fisher, an engraver. Engraver means who engrave things. After leaving him, Blake began to earn his living as an engraver for illustration for various publishers. So, this is the second details regarding William Blake. The third is what at the age of 24, Blake married, means William Blake married Catherine Boucher. So, how we are going to pronounce Catherine Boucher, an illiterate girl. Blake taught her to read and Catherine helped him to engraving. Catherine proved to be an excellent wife, sympathizing with his work and sharing in it. So this is small details regarding William Blake. It is kind of introduction. And the next slide. So again, so here is the details regarding his major works. So as you see on the screen, his major work is what? Songs of Innocence, which was published in 1789. And after that, after 5 years, again he published one more collection, that is nothing but Songs of Experience. It was in 1794. See what happens. See this poem, the present poem, the schoolboy, taken from what? The schoolboy is poem from what? Songs of Innocence. So Songs of Innocence is about what? Here's the explanation is given. See here. The Songs of Innocence contains poems which are apparently written for children, which actually is written for children only. So this poem is taken from what? Songs of Innocence. Just here you have to remember, while you are going to write 4 marks or 6 marks question on this poem, no, you have to mention this, what? The collection of poem name. So what it is? Songs of collection. Just remember, you have to make what? Write down somewhere wherever you want. So this point will help you while you are going to write your answers for 4 marks and 6 marks. So this is all about the poet. Who was he? William Blake, right? Just a minute, I'll go for the next slide. So when he was born, who was his father? See, so the everything details is given here. One by one you have to go. And after that, his two major collections are what? Songs of Innocence and Songs of Experience. So the present poem, The Schoolboy, is taken from what? Songs of Innocence, which was published in 1789. Now I'll go for the poem now. See here. So this is a poem. Actually it is from your textbook only. See how many paragraphs we have. I'll go for, first of all I'll read the poem. After that, one by one I'm going to explain. So see here, one paragraph, second paragraph, and here 3, 4, 5, 6 paragraphs we have. Oral we have 6 paragraphs. So first of all I'll read those paragraphs. After that, one by one I will explain as I told you. Now see, listen carefully. Now I'll go for the first paragraph. I love to rise in summer morn, when the birds sing on every tree, the distant huntsman winds his horn, and the skylark sings with me. Oh, what sweet company! But to go to school on summer morn, oh, it drives all joy away. Under a cruel eye outworn, the little one spends the day in sighing and dismay. So this is the second one. I'll go for the third paragraph. The paragraph is here now. Then at times I drooping sit and spend many an anxious hour. Nor in my book can I take a delight, nor sit in learning's bower, worn through with the dreary shower. So this is the third paragraph. The fourth one is here. How can the bird that is born for joy sit in cage and sing? How can a child when fierce and but droops his tender wing and forget his youthful spring? Now the next paragraph. Oh father and mother, if birds are nipped and blossoms blown away, and if the tender plants are stripped of their joy in the springing day by sorrow and care dismay, how shall the summer arise in a joy, or the summer fruits appear? Or how shall we gather what griefs destroy, or bless the mellowing year when the blast of winter appears? So, this is the last paragraph. Now, see, these are the 6 paragraphs of this poem. Here it is. Before going to start anything, first of all, you need to understand this poem is about what? The schoolboy. Actually, this poem is written from the perspective of young boy who hates going to school. So the character is used, the young boy. Just a minute, young boy. So you need to understand who is the young boy here. The young boy is nothing but the poet himself, William Blake. Just remember, if any questions comes on this, no, who is the narrator or who is the speaker of this poem, you have to answer it as a William Blake instead of young boy. Just remember, right? And one more thing comes. Actually, the poet, just a minute, William Blake, with the help of the boy character, the young boy character, he just tried to explain or describe the innocent nature and desires of young boy. So, what kind of desires he has while he was child? So, while you are going to learn this poem, no, you will get it. First of all, I'll go for the first stanza. I'll read the first stanza. After that, line by line, I'll explain. So, try to listen carefully. So, here it is. I love to rise in summer morn, when the bird sings on every tree, the distant huntsman winds his horn, and the skylark sings with me. Oh, what sweet company. Now, the poem begins with I. So, I stands for whom? You need to understand. I stands for whom? I stands for William Blake. See here, I think if any questions comes on 1 mark, no. I refers to whom? I refers to the William Blake. Don't answer it as a child here. So, I love to rise in summer morn. So, just a minute. So, summer morn, the term is used, no, morn means what? Morn stands for morning, just remember. Actually, it is a British English. So, in there, they are going to use such kind of terms. So, see here, the schoolboy says that he loves to rise in summer morning. Why? It is because, this is the first line explanation, why it is the time when the bird sings on every tree. Because he want to rise in summer morn, because when the bird sings on every tree, it is the time of birds singing, right or no? And after that, what happens in third lines here? The distant huntsman winds his horn. So what happens? The huntsman blows his horn for away. For what purpose he is blowing? He blows his horn because he want to hunt the animals, right? While it is kind of equipment which is used for hunting, right or no? It can make sound, so you can hunt easily, right or no? So this is the third line. After that, what happened? And the skylark sings with him. Now in fourth line, the child is trying to explain that, he's trying to express that the skylark, the bird, who is singing with whom? Me means who is here? The child. The bird also singing with me, and oh, what a sweet company. He's saying that he's enjoying this company. So what kind of company is enjoying? Just try to remember. Maybe they can ask for this as a one mark questions. See here, I stands for William Blake. Right at the morn, it is nothing but morning. So what kind of company he has here? Because the bird is singing, huntsman who is winds his horn. Horn, what I told you, horn, it is kind of equipment which is used for hunting purpose. It can make noise. And the third thing is what? And the skylark, the bird who is singing with the boy. So such kind of company he is enjoying. So if you observe this first paragraph, no, what you will understand, with the first paragraph, with the help of the first paragraph, the child or young boy is trying to explain or trying to express his happiness, right or no? Here you, what you identify? You identified boy's happiness. So the first paragraph is clear. Now I'll go for the second paragraph. So in second paragraph, it is totally exactly opposite to the first one. So what it means? So in first paragraph, he explained his happiness. But here in second paragraph, he is going to express his grief. Just remember these terms. Happiness and grief. Just remember happiness and grief. Now, I'm going to read the second paragraph now. But, the but is used. To go to school on summer morn, Then instead of enjoying nature beauty in summer morning, if I'm going to school, what happens? Oh, it drives all joy away. See here, the child, the what narrator or the speaker, what is trying to explain? He is telling that if I'm going to school, instead of enjoying this nature beauty, what happens? It drives all joy. It is killing my happiness. What is killing? Going to school. Just remember, if any question comes on 1 mark, what drives his joy? So answer is what? Going to school. Just remember. And the third line, under. Just a minute, I'll clear this. Now the boy says it drives, going to school, it drives his, or it kills his happiness. And after, what is in third line, what is trying to express? Under a cruel eye out one. See, under, when he joins or when he goes to school, what happens? Under a cruel eye, this term is used, and cruel eye, it represents or it refers to teacher. Just remember. So cruel eye, who is cruel eye here? Teacher. Why such kind of term is used? That's also important, no? Because teacher, he follows rules and regulation. He is not going to implement his own rules and regulation on children's. He is going to follow some kind of authority, right or no? They are going to implement on teacher, and teacher, what is doing? He is implementing those rules on whom? Children. So if he is going to implement those rules and regulation, where there is a rules and regulation, there will be no creativity at all, right or no? So this is universal fact, you can't change it. Even we know the truth, even we can't do anything about it. This is the Indian education system, we have to follow it by hook or crook. We don't have any choice at all. Now what he says, under a cruel eye out one means it is useless, right or no? He is implementing those rules, those are useless. And the next line says, the boy, the little ones. Who is little ones here? Himself, the child, or the young boy. Just remember, or young boy spends the day. He spends the day in where? In school. How he is spending? The terms are very important. Sighing and dismay. Sighing means what? It is sadness, right or no? In grief, he is spending his whole day in grief and sadness. This is very important. See, as I told you in few minutes back, the first paragraph, when he is in nature, right, when he is in nature, he's enjoying everything. He's enjoying bird singing, he's enjoying huntsman winds his horns. When he winds his horn, he's enjoying. And after that, when the Skylarks who sings with him, even he's enjoying, where he says that it is the best company ever I got, right or no? But when the time comes to goes to school, no, going to school, he's losing his happiness. When, right or no? The second line says it drives all joy away, because he's going to school, because he want to spend all day, whole life in nature, in between of those animals, in between of those nature beauty. And next line, third line says, under a cruel eye out one. Cruel eye, it represents whom? It represents the teacher. And why it is, why such kind of term is used, as I explained, because he is going to implement rules and regulation on children's. That may be the part of education or part of teaching, whatever it is. Now the next line, fourth line says, the little ones. Who is little one here? The little one, the children, kids who is learning under a cruel eye, spends day. How they are spending day? They are spending day in grief and sadness. Just remember, right? This is second paragraph. So first paragraph is about happiness, second paragraph is about grief. Hope this thing is clear. It is a quite easy poem. I'll go for the third paragraph now. See, now third paragraph, actually the third paragraph, it continues part of second one, because the same thing he is going to explain again. It is a grief here, happiness, grief. Then at times I drooping sit and spend many an anxious hour, nor in my book can I take delight, now sit in learning's board, now throw with the dreary shower. Now with the help of third paragraph, the child is trying to explain that when he's spending so much time in school, no, he's not getting a single happiness, a single what, a peace of mind, because it is a drooping sit means which is useless again, and he spends many anxious hours, dangerous, though whatever the hours he is spending over there, those going to be anxious to him. It is going to be a what, bhayanaka. You can call it as a bhayanaka, right or no? You can Kannada bhayanaka antare, Marathidalli बघा तुम्हीच काय म्हणतात anxious hour, which is quite dangerous, it is quite what boring to him. And after the third line, what is trying to say? Nor in my book means which is book, actually it is book, it represents what education system, right? In my books can I take delight? Even he is not getting any joyful or any kind of happiness from book also, right or no? So he's totally fed up with this education system. After that, what happens here? Nor sit in learning's boor. See, this is kind of phrase is used, this is very important. Boor, it is a German term. Boor means what? It is a German term and it stands for school. Now, as per the child, school represents what? It represents cage. This is very important, just remember, try to understand. It represents cage. Now where is he? He is in cage, right or no? This is very important, just remember. Learning on through with the dreary shower, and this cage is destroying by what? Dreary shower. It's kind of a thunderstorm or can heavy rain, you can be. Due to that, we are losing our happiness in schools, we are not enjoying at all. The same content is continued here. So just remember, in first paragraph, with the help of these what important terms: bird singing, huntsman winds his horn, and skylark singing with the child, these are the, it represents happiness of the child, even it represents nature beauty. But when it comes to the second paragraph and third paragraph now, where he is totally sad because of the modern education policy or whatever it is, right or no? When he's going when he goes to school, what kind of problems he's facing, because there is no what a chance of creativity, chance of happiness, chance of joyfulness while he's learning. So he's losing those things and he's not happy at all with the education policy. So this up to third paragraph I explained. Just a minute. Now the fourth paragraph and fifth and sixth one I will explain in next class, right? So it just need to understand. So for the exam, how they are going to ask, just remember. So these are the questions. I stands for what? Mon. And the company, sweet company, bird singing, huntsman swings his horn, and skylark singing. So this is the best company. And here, what drives happiness? Boys happiness, going to school, just remember. And Cruella represents whom? Teacher. Why? Because I explained the rules and regulation is going to implement. Why he's implementing, even that's also important. Even that thing also explained. So little one, so the little one stands for what? Try to understand. And sighing, and so how he's spending his whole day, you only have to remember sighing and dismay. So sadness and grief. Even in third paragraph, so whatever the time he's spending, it is going to be anxious to him, right or no? Even he's not enjoying from his books delight, right or no? Can I take delight? Or now see the learning's boor. Learning's boor, it is a kind of a shady place. In under, so many people they gather, to take a kind of education, to get acquired knowledge, but they are not getting, they are losing because of dreary shower, right? So up to here, the third paragraph we completed. Remaining three paragraphs we'll discuss in next class. Okay, bye bye.